You can download the arts in the video for free, link in the description. For custom physics that are predictable and don't have any issues going through walls at high speeds, like the regular physics objects in Godot, where you can pick up, drop, and throw any of these custom physics objects. For this system, we will create a custom node that we can add to any character body 2D. To provide it with the custom physics, create a new scene with a blank node as the core. We use a blank node as we don't require any properties like position or scale, as this node will simply hold a script with all the physics logic. Right-click, rename it to object logic, go to scene save as, and save it, and add a script. Inside the script, we will first establish a class name as object logic. You can choose any class name that you would like. Just keep in mind that this is the name that we will refer to when adding this custom node to any of our scenes. We then add 8 variables. Friction lerp weight is the amount of friction we apply when the object is sliding horizontally on the ground. A higher number will make the object stop quicker, and a lower amount will make the object slide for longer. Position lerp weight is the speed that we set the position of the physics object when it is being carried by the player. A higher number will make the object appear more snapped to the player's position. Gravity is the downward force that we apply to the physics object. It is recommended to set the default value to be the same as your player. Then you can adjust it later when you're adding the node to provide a feeling of weight, making certain objects more heavier than others. Bounce amount is the height of the first bounce after the object has been thrown. This will decrease after each object bounce based on the total bounces. Total bounces is the amount of bounces that we have after the object is thrown. This is only for hitting the ground, as bouncing off of walls is handled differently. We make these variables export that we can make objects seem heavier or bouncier than others. Y velocity and X velocity are what we'll use to force specific custom velocity interactions, such as bouncing. Additionally, we make them separate variables to improve readability in the code, and because these variables will be edited independently without much crossover. Held by is the node holding this object. We require this variable to know whether we are being held and to know the global position that we need to go to for the visual of being carried. Inside the built-in ready function, we grab the parent, as this node will be added as a child of the object. Then we add that parent to a group called canPickUp. This group system will be later used by the player to detect what objects have the custom physics attached. We will then create 3 custom functions, which we will later call in the player script to change the state of the custom physics object. Inside the pickup function, we will set held by to be the built-in holder variable. Then we will set velocity to a vector 2.0, as we are now in a state of being held by the player, and velocity is only needed for throwing objects. Inside the drop function, we set held by to null, as we are no longer being held. Then we create a variable for the position tween, which will create tween with a transition of sine for a smoother animation. We will then grab the pos tween, calling the tween property function, passing our parent, their global position, the built-in global pos variable, and a total animation time of 0.05 seconds. Then we will make sure to set velocity to a vector 2.0. We do this to quickly correct the object's global position and ensure that velocity can't ruin the positioning. Don't worry about the Y positioning, as we will apply gravity later to ensure that this object is correctly placed on the ground. Inside the throw function, we set held by to null, as we are no longer being held by the player. Then we set velocity to a vector 2 with the 2 built-in variables. These are built-in variables, as your player may be able to increase or decrease their throw strength within your game, but the player needs to pass their strength when they call this function. Then we set the X and Y velocity variables appropriately for bouncing. Inside the built-in physics process function, we will first check if held by, meaning that it isn't equal to null, and therefore the player is holding this object. First, we ensure that velocity is 0, so it doesn't interfere with setting the position. Then we create a variable for holding the target position. This is simply the player's position plus an offset, so that the object appears above the player's head. Finally, you can set the player's global position to a lerp that moves the player's global position towards the target position at a rate of position lerp weight multiplied by delta, and we multiply by delta to make sure that this lerp is frame rate independent. Alternatively, if you don't want a smooth setting of the global position, simply grab the object's global position and set it to the target pos directly. In the case that we are not being held, we grab velocity.x and we use lerp to move it towards x velocity at the rate of friction lerp weight multiplied by delta. Then we plus equal gravity multiplied by delta to the velocity.y. Then we call move and slide so that the velocity has an effect on the parent. Now, to ensure that this object can't slide horizontally infinitely after being thrown, and to apply some bouncing logic or bouncing on the ground, we check if we are on the floor. Then we check if the y velocity variable is more than 0. Then we apply a bounce that is divided by the total bounces so that the object doesn't bounce more than the total amount that we allow. Then we set the velocity.y to this y velocity variable. We must handle the y velocity in this way, as when we reach the ground, velocity.y will be equal to 0. So to keep track of bouncing, we must have an external variable like y velocity. Additionally, we set x velocity to 0 in the case that y velocity is less than or equal to 0, as we want the object to slow down horizontally as soon as we are no longer bouncing. But don't worry, as there will still be some sliding or friction due to the velocity.x lerp. We then do an else if statement checking if we are on the wall. Then we invert in half x velocity so that we bounce and also get a bit slower for more realistic physics interaction. Additionally, we only allow wall bouncing when in the air so that the object doesn't ping pong between walls when on the ground. Finally, we check if we are on the floor and that the length of the velocity is less than 5, meaning that velocity is close to 0. But then we set it to 0. This is to avoid any issues with the object constantly sliding due to velocity being equal to a decimal. Additionally, you can change the 5 to any number that you would like, just keep in mind that the higher the number, the faster you cut off the velocity. Now, to add this logic to an object, create a new scene with a character body 2D node as the core. Right-click, rename it to box. Add a sprite 2D node as a child. Set the texture to the art atlas so you can download for free, link in the description. Go to texture and change the filter to nearest as we are using pixel art. Then under region, select enabled, edit region, change the snap snap mode to grid snap, scroll in using the mouse wheel, and select the box. Then under ordering, we will set the z-index to -1, so that it appears behind my player, although this may need to be a different number based on your game. Add a collision shape 2D node to the scene. Set the shape to a rectangle 2D, select it, and set the size to 5.5 by 5.5. For the physics, we can search for the object logic node. Keep in mind that the name is based on the class name that we defined earlier inside the script. From here, we can set any of the export variables that we created earlier. Now for the collision, select the character body 2D, and set the layer to 2 and the mask to 3. Then go to your tile map layer, and add it to layer 3. The layer is where the object is, and the mask defines what layers we are colliding with. For this, we ensure that the layer and mask on the box is different. This is so the objects don't interact with each other. And because the mask is 3, we must also set the tile map layer to include 3 so that the box doesn't go through the ground. Then go to Scene, Scene Save As, and save the box. For the player to detect the object, go to the player scene, add an area 2D node to the scene, right-click, rename it to Object Detect, add a collision shape 2D node as a child, set the shape to a rectangle 2D, select it, set the size to 5.5 by 6.5, and set the transform position to 0.5 on the y-axis. Now to allow this area 2D to see objects, make sure to set the mask to 2, as that's the layer that the object exists on. Additionally, we can remove any layer and disable monitorable, as we won't ever be checking for the existence of this area 2D with other area 2Ds. Finally, for this area 2D, go to Node, inside of Signals, right-click the body entered signal, hit connect it to your script. Then right-click the body exited signal, hit connect it to your script. Inside the player script, we will define 4 variables. Object throw strength is the amount of velocity we apply to the x and y velocity variables inside the object logic script. Additionally, you can have different throw strength for each axis if you would like. Object hovering is an array that will hold all the objects that the object detected area is colliding with. We use an array so that we can grab the last object that we collided with, and so we don't have to force any object to re-enter this area for it to be pick-upable. Held object will be equal to the object that we are currently holding, and look_x is the horizontal direction that we are looking towards. You may already have a variable for this, so you can use that instead. Alternatively, if you were setting the flip h of your sprite, you can also use that instead. The purpose of this variable is to simply ensure that we throw objects towards the direction that we are facing. Inside the body entered signal function, we first check that the body is in the group that we established earlier. Inside the object logic's built-in ready function, we then check if we are either not holding an object, or in the case that we are, we check that the object that the area is colliding with isn't the one that we are holding. Then we check if the object is already inside of the object hovering array. If so, we erase it. Then we put the object at the front of the array in the 0 spot. We make sure to do the erase so that way we can reposition the object to be at the front of the array, in the case that the object is already in the array. Inside the body exited signal function, we first check that the body is in the can pickup group. Then we check if the object hovering array has the object. If so, then we remove it from the array. Inside the built-in physics process function, we first set look_x. We do this by checking that we are not moving horizontally. Then we grab the sign of velocity.x, which sign will return a -1, 0, or 1. And because we are checking that we are moving, it should never provide a 0 and only provide a -1 or 1. For object interaction, we check if we are pressing the input to pick up or throw objects. Then we check if we are holding the down key. If we are holding the down key, then we want to swap, pick up, or place the object. In the case that we are holding down, we first check if object hovering.size is more than 0, meaning that we are hovering over at least one object. Then we create a temporary variable to hold the first object in the array. We will then check if we are currently holding an object and that the object that we are holding is not the same as the object in the array. If so, then we will swap between the object we are holding and the object that we are hovering over. Then we call drop on the current object at the position of the player. Then we update the held object to the new object. Then we remove that object from the array and we call pickup passing the player so that the new object sets its position above the player. Else, if we are not holding an object, then to pick up the object that we are hovering over, we set the held object to that temporary object variable. We then remove it from the array and call pickup passing the player. In the case that there are no objects in the array, then we check if we are currently holding an object. Then to drop it, we call the drop function on the current held object and set held object to null. If we are not holding the down key, meaning that we are trying to throw an object, then we check if we are holding an object to throw. If so, then we define a variable for the x and y throw strength. This is where you can place the difference in x and y strength if you would like. The important part is that we multiply the x strength by the horizontal look_dir so that the object is thrown in the correct direction. Then we call the throw function, passing the 2 throw strength variables. And finally, we set the held object to null. Now you have a custom physics system, allowing you to pick up, swap, and throw any object in your game, avoiding the potential issues of built-in physics objects going through walls, and providing the ability to edit the custom physics further to suit any of your 2D platformer games. And don't forget that you can check out the project files, link in the description.